This shall be the reward when you hearken to these ordinances and you observe and perform them. Hashem your God will safeguard for you the covenant and the kindness that he swore to your forefathers. He will love you, bless you, and multiply you, and he will bless the fruit of your womb and the fruit of your land, your grain, your wine, and your oil, the offspring of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep and goats, on the land that he swore to your forefathers to give you. You will be the most blessed of all the peoples. There will be no infertile male or infertile female among you or among your animals. Hashem will remove from you every illness and all the bad maladies of Egypt that you knew. He will not put them upon you, but will put them upon all your foes. You will devour all the peoples that Hashem your God will deliver to you. Your eye shall not pity them. You shall not worship their gods, for it is a snare for you. Perhaps you will say in your heart, these nations are more numerous than I. How will I be able to drive them out? Do not fear them. You shall remember what Hashem your God did to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt, the great tests that your eyes saw, and the signs, the wonders, the strong hand, and the outstretched arm with which Hashem your God took you out. So shall Hashem your God do to all the peoples before whom you fear. Also the hornet swarm will Hashem your God send among them, until the survivors and hidden ones perish before you. You shall not be broken before them, for Hashem your God is among you, a great and awesome God. Hashem your God will thrust these nations from before you little by little. You will not be able to annihilate them quickly, lest the beasts of the field increase against you. Hashem your God will deliver them before you, and will confound them with great confusion, until their destruction. He will deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall cause their name to perish from under the heaven. No man will stand up against you until you have destroyed them. The carved images of their gods you shall burn in the fire. You shall not covet and take for yourself the silver and gold that is on them, lest you be ensnared by it, for it is an abomination of Hashem your God. And you shall not bring an abomination into your home and become banned like it. You shall surely loathe it, and you shall surely abominate it, for it is banned. The entire commandment that I command you today you shall observe to perform, so that you may live and increase, and come and possess the land that Hashem swore to your forefathers. You shall remember the entire road on which Hashem your God led you these 40 years in the wilderness, so as to afflict you, to test you, to know what is in your heart, whether you would observe his commandments or not. He afflicted you and let you hunger. Then he fed you the manna that you did not know, nor did your forefathers know, in order to make you know that not by bread alone does man live, rather by everything that emanates from the mouth of God does man live. Your garment did not wear out upon you, and your feet did not swell these 40 years. You should know in your heart that just as a father will chastise his son, so Hashem your God chastises you. You shall observe the commandments of Hashem your God, to go in his ways and to fear him. For Hashem your God is bringing you to a good land, a land with streams of water, of springs and underground water coming forth in valley and mountain, a land of wheat, barley, grape, fig, and pomegranate, a land of oil olives and date honey, a land where you will eat bread without poverty. You will lack nothing there, a land whose stones are iron, and from whose mountains you will mine copper. You will eat, and you will be satisfied, and bless Hashem your God for the good land that he gave you. Take care lest you forget Hashem your God by not observing his commandments, his ordinances, and his decrees, which I command you today, lest you eat and be satisfied, and you build good houses and settle, and your cattle and sheep and goats increase, and you increase silver and gold for yourself, and everything that you have will increase. And your hearts will become haughty, and you will forget Hashem your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery, who leads you through the great and awesome wilderness of snake, fiery serpent, and scorpion, and thirst where there was no water, who brings forth water for you from the rock of flint, who feeds you manna in the wilderness, which your forefathers knew not, in order to afflict you and in order to test you, to do good for you in your end. And you may say in your heart, my strength and the might of my hand made me all this wealth. Then you shall remember Hashem your God, that it was he who gives you strength to make wealth, in order to establish his covenant that he swore to your forefathers as this day. It shall be that if you forget Hashem your God, and go after the gods of others, and worship them, and prostrate yourself to them, I testify against you today that you will surely perish, like the nations that Hashem causes to perish before you. So will you perish, because you will not have hearkened to the voice of Hashem your God. Hear, O Israel, today you cross the Jordan to come and drive out nations that are greater and mightier than you, cities that are great and fortified up to the heavens, a great and lofty people, children of giants that you knew and of whom you have heard, who can stand up against the children of the giant. But you know today that Hashem your God, he crosses before you, a consuming fire. He will destroy them, and he will subjugate them before you. You will drive them out and cause them to perish quickly, as Hashem spoke to you. Do not say in your heart, when Hashem pushes them away from before you, saying, because of my righteousness did Hashem bring me to possess this land, and because of the wickedness of these nations did Hashem drive them away from before you. Not because of your righteousness and the uprightness of your heart are you coming to possess their land, but because of the wickedness of these nations does Hashem your God drive them away from before you, and in order to establish the word that Hashem swore to your forefathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And you should know that not because of your righteousness does Hashem your God give you this good land to possess it, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget that you provoked Hashem your God in the wilderness. From the day you left the land of Egypt until your arrival at this place, you have been rebels against Hashem. And in Horeb you provoked Hashem, and Hashem became angry with you to destroy you. When I ascended the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant, that Hashem sealed with you, and I remained on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Bread I did not eat, and water I did not drink. And Hashem gave me the 2 tablets inscribed with the finger of Hashem, and on them were all the words that Hashem spoke with you on the mountain from the midst of the fire on the day of the congregation. It was at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that Hashem gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. Then Hashem said to me, Arise, descend quickly from here, for your people that you took out of Egypt has become corrupt. They have strayed quickly from the way that I commanded them. They have made themselves a molten image. Hashem said to me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Release me, and I shall destroy them, and erase their name from under the heavens, and I shall make you a mightier, more numerous nation than they. So I turned and descended from the mountain as the mountain was burning in fire, and the 2 tablets of the covenant were in my 2 hands. Then I saw, and behold, you had sinned to Hashem your God. You had made yourselves a molten calf. You strayed quickly from the way that Hashem commanded you. I grasped the 2 tablets and threw them from my 2 hands, and I smashed them before your eyes. Then I threw myself down before Hashem as the first time. 40 days and 40 nights, bread I did not eat, and water I did not drink, because of your entire sin that you committed, to do that which is evil in the eyes of Hashem, to anger him. For I was terrified of the wrath and blazing anger with which Hashem had been provoked against you to destroy you. And Hashem hearkened to me that time as well. Hashem became very angry with Aaron to destroy him, so I prayed also for Aaron at that time. Your sin that you committed, the calf, I took and burned it in fire, and I pounded it, grinding it well until it was a fine dust, and I threw its dust into the brook and descended from the mountain. And in Taberah, in Massah, and in Kibroth HaTa'avah, you were provoking Hashem. And when Hashem sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land that I gave you, then you rebelled against the word of Hashem, your God. You did not believe him, and you did not hearken to his voice. You have been rebels against Hashem from the day I knew you. I threw myself down before Hashem for the 40 days and 40 nights that I threw myself down, for Hashem had intended to destroy you. I prayed to Hashem and said, My Lord, Hashem, Elohim, do not destroy your people and your heritage that you redeemed in your greatness, that you took out of Egypt with a strong hand. Remember for the sake of your servants, for Abraham, for Isaac, and for Jacob. Do not turn to the stubbornness of this people, and to its wickedness, and to its sin, lest the land from which you took them out will say, For lack of Hashem's ability to bring them to the land of which he spoke to us, and because of his hatred of them, did he take them out to let them die in the wilderness. Yet they are your people and your heritage, whom you took out with your great strength and your outstretched arm. At that time Hashem said to me, Carve for yourself 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and ascend to me to the mountain, and make a wooden ark for yourself. And I shall inscribe on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets that you smashed, and you shall place them in the ark. So I made an ark of cedar wood, and I carved out 2 stone tablets like the first ones. Then I ascended the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hand. He inscribed on the tablets according to the first script, the 10 statements that Hashem spoke to you on the mountain, from the midst of the fire on the day of the congregation, and Hashem gave them to me. I turned and descended from the mountain, and I placed the tablets in the ark that I made, and they remained there as Hashem had commanded me. The children of Israel journeyed from Beron ben Yakan to Moserah. There Aaron died, and he was buried there, and Eleazar his son ministered in his place. From there they journeyed to Gudgod, and from Gudgod to Jothbath, a land of brooks of water. At that time Hashem set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of Hashem, to stand before Hashem to minister to him, and to bless in his name until this day. Therefore Levi did not have a share and a heritage with his brethren. Hashem is his heritage, as Hashem your God had spoken of him. I remained on the mountain as on the first days, 40 days and 40 nights, and Hashem listened to me this time as well. And Hashem did not wish to destroy you. Hashem said to me, Arise, go on the journey before the people, let them come and possess the land that I swore to their forefathers to give them. Now, O Israel, what does Hashem your God ask of you? Only to fear Hashem your God, to go in all his ways and to love him, and to serve Hashem your God with all your heart and with all your soul. To observe the commandments of Hashem and his decrees which I command you today for your benefit. Behold, to Hashem your God are the heaven and the highest heaven, the earth and everything that is in it. Only your forefathers did Hashem cherish to love them, and he chose their offspring after them, you from among all the people, as this day. You shall cut away the barrier of your heart, and no longer stiffen your neck. For Hashem your God, he is the God of the powers and the Lord of the lords, the great, mighty, and awesome God, who does not show favor, and who does not accept a bribe. He carries out the judgment of orphan and widow, and loves the proselyte to give him bread and garment. You shall love the proselyte, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Hashem your God shall you fear. Him shall you serve, to him shall you cleave, and in his name shall you swear. He is your praise, and he is your God, who did for you these great and awesome things that your eyes have seen. With 70 souls did your ancestors ascend to Egypt, and now Hashem your God has made you like the stars of heaven for abundance. You shall love Hashem your God, and you shall safeguard his charge, his decrees, his ordinances, and his commandments all the days. You shall know today that it is not your children who did not know and who did not see the chastisement of Hashem your God, his greatness, his strong hand, and his outstretched arm, his signs and his deeds that he performed in the midst of Egypt to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to all his land, and what he did to the army of Egypt, to its horses and its chariots, over whom he swept the waters of the sea of reeds when they pursued you. And Hashem caused them to perish until this day, and what he did for you in the wilderness, until you came to this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abram and the sons of Eliab, son of Reuben, when the earth opened its mouth wide and swallowed them and their households and their tents and all their fortunes at their feet in the midst of all Israel. Rather it is your own eyes that see all the great work of Hashem which he did. So you shall observe the entire commandment that I command you today, so that you will be strong, and you will come and possess the land to which you are crossing, to possess it, and so that you will prolong your days on the land that Hashem swore to your forefathers to give them and to their offspring, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land to which you come to possess it, it is not like the land of Egypt that you left when you would plant your seed and water it on foot like a vegetable garden. But the land to which you cross over to possess it is a land of mountains and valleys. From the rain of heaven it will drink water. A land that Hashem your God seeks out. The eyes of Hashem your God are always upon it, from the beginning of the year to the year's end. It will be that if you hearken to my commandments that I command you today, to love Hashem your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, then I shall provide rain for your land in its proper time, the early and the late rains, that you may gather in your grain, your wine, and your oil. I shall provide grass in your fields for your cattle, and you will eat, and you will be satisfied. Beware for yourself, lest your heart be seduced, and you turn astray, and serve gods of others, and prostrate yourself to them. Then the wrath of Hashem will blaze against you. He will restrain the heavens, so there will be no rain, and the ground will not yield its produce, and you will be swiftly banished from the goodly land that Hashem gives you. You shall place these words of mine upon your heart and upon your soul. You shall bind them for a sign upon your arm, and let them be an ornament between your eyes. You shall teach them to your children, to discuss them while you sit in your home, while you walk on the way, when you retire, and when you arise. and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, in order to prolong your days and the days of your children upon the land that Hashem has sworn to your forefathers to give them, like the days of the heaven over the earth. For if you will observe this entire commandment that I command you, to perform it, to love Hashem your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave to him, Hashem will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will drive out greater and mightier nations than yourselves. Every place where the sole of your foot will tread shall be yours, from the wilderness and the Lebanon, from the river, the Euphrates River, until the western sea shall be your boundary. No man will stand up against you. Hashem your God will set your terror and your fear on the face of the entire earth, where you will tread, as he spoke to you.